Welcome to the Prog Report Reaction Show. We are your hosts, Geoff Bailey, Roie Avon, and Daniel Levy. Today, we'll take you in various excursions, such as the Wheel of Prog, our favorite tracks, and the Blue Bearded Woman. It's great to have you. Oh yeah, man. Sorry.
Thank you, Dan, for
to
that
our
wonderful
audience.
intro. Thank you. That was brilliant.
Blue bearded woman.
Yeah.
My
Thank
best
you.
blue bearded woman in person.
Thank you.
That was
Thank
one
you
of
for
the
that.
first comments we made upon getting this album. Is that I noticed when I
blue-bearded
got to
woman?
carry when I got to carry you again, and that moment came. I was like, dude, I feel like I'm presenting a PowerPoint, something at work. You know, it's that kind of vibe in that song. It's perfect for this. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's fun, very funny. Anyway, welcome everybody to our reaction for the NMB L.I.F.T or L.I.F.T album, which is as we are releasing this, it is out. Highly anticipated album by NMB, formerly the Neil Morse Band. To some people, still the Neil Morse Band. So whatever you feel like doing. But anyway, album came out on February 27th. Fifth studio album by the guys. They weren't sure when a new album would come out. It was a surprise to everybody. They dropped a single without telling anybody in December that they were even working on an album. So everybody was really excited. And you know what? I mean, I know we always get accused of liking everything Neil does. And sorry, we like this one too. So
Yeah.
whatever. But anyway, it's a great album. If you read the reviews everywhere, people are loving it. I mean, that's so far anyway.
But don't trust our opinion too much. If he came out and said, "Hey guys, this is they five of them. Like this is my new album. It's called Farts and Poops. Enjoy." And we're probably gonna love that anyway. So yeah.
Well, I used to always feel that way about every Radiohead album that came out. That everybody would go, "Oh my God, it's an entire album of farts and poops. It's the greatest thing. Genius."
You've no class, Roy.
He said it first. Anyway, so we do mostly our reviews, our written reviews, and we like to do that on the website. But once in a while, a few albums a year, we like to do this. Maybe talk about it, albums that are sort of, bigger or maybe warrant something like that. With apologies to Big Train that we probably should have done one, but we covered that album definitely a lot. And another great album by this year. This year's, we're only 2 months in, and it's just been awesome. You got the NMB and Big Train albums out, Carnival, which is great for people that like them. I love that record as well. And then you got a bunch of new stuff coming out that's been great.
Save it for the end of the year podcast, dude.
Crownlands, all this stuff that's being released. So
it's only March.
It's
only March.
not even. It's barely March.
Well,
so I'll let you guys talk a little bit.
That you'd put this out.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Anyway, Jeff, why don't you talk a little about the record, because you're familiar with it.
Okay, yeah, no, we've had the luxury of being able to have this music for a few weeks, and I suppose one of these things about doing these sort of things is we're conscious that people won't have maybe spent as much time as we've had. So part of it, I suppose, is to mention some of the highlights without being too spoilery. I think things I like about this album are it feels very much like one track, and I suppose the parallel I would draw to that is maybe Question Mark is probably the one that's closest to that, in that it feels like a sort of start to finish type piece. It's shorter than Similitude, The Great Adventure, and I think the economy of that is really good, because it's just a nice length for you to be able to play it from start to finish. It starts and it ends very, very stripped back with Neil and either a keyboard and an acoustic guitar, or just a vocal actually at the end. But everything in between is very much NMB working as a band, and I've listened to some interviews Neil has done. They went to Eric's studio in Tulsa with almost nothing written. I mean, I listened to an interview today where Neil said there was about 5% of the instrumental, 5% of the album instrumentally had been brought, and everything else was put together by the band in the room. And lyrics or song ideas, a lot of them Neil wrote, get up in the morning, do that, bring it in, and the band work together. And you can really tell that. I was listening to an interview
I
with
agree. Yeah.
Jay Shellen from yesterday, and they've just finished their second album with him, and they've never recorded in the same room. The last three Yes albums have all been done remotely with people on different sides of the Atlantic. The real magic, the real sauce of this album is the fact that you've got those five guys
Yeah.
in one room and, just making something that is completely them, that is completely, distinctively, I'll not say, fully alive. The first proper song, you've got Neil singing the first part of the verse, Bill singing the next part of the verse, Eric singing the chorus. They're all there by the time you get to there, and amazing instrumental contributions from all of them and Randy and Mike. So if that's what you're looking forward to, it's not a U-turn, it's not a change of direction, it's not a try something completely different. It is them doing absolutely what they do best.
Yeah, that's great, man. I agree with that. Like that interaction of the band, which is how music used to be made, right? And nowadays there's a trend of doing it online because it's so much more convenient, and you can
Yep.
work with people even that live in your own city, and it's easy to share files and everything. But I think that feeling of having them together and just bouncing off ideas right at that moment really brings a different energy that I think contributes to the album being of such a high quality. And I really love this album. I do enjoy their previous album as well, Innocence and Danger, but that one felt a little less connected um, as than this one. And like what you said about it being like a full, just one song, big song, separated in chapters and everything. One thing that I noticed is that the themes are so recognizable. Like on my first listen, um, I could hum the theme from the first song, like the fourth song. That's like, okay, no, it's right in my head already. It usually takes a few listens, but with this album, I think the themes are so like recognizable, and that you can just keep singing them with the band on your first listen. And speaking of first listens, like my first listen, I thought this album had some very slow moments and some very high energy moments. So it was
Mm,
kind of like
yeah,
a
yeah.
roller coaster in that way. And I was like, man, I don't know how much I like this. I wish it was like more. And then I got to the end and everything clicked. Yeah, the second listen onwards, I was just like, wow, that's the best thing ever. I just love it. It's that kind of sound that, as I said in the beginning about poops and farts, of course we're gonna like. We are the target audience. Uh, that sounded bad, but anyways, go ahead, Roy.
Well,
Don't be the
look,
target
I
of your
mean,
poops.
I'm always. I think I speak for you guys as well. We just like the sound of the style, everything, the vibe of Neil's writing, especially when Mike's involved, and all these guys, Eric and Bill and Randy. When they get together, we like that mix of whatever they do. Everything has always been good, but like with every band, there's going to be some albums hit you better than every band
Yeah,
is like that. You love a band and it's your favorite band, but you might think that this album is better for whatever reason. And as much as I like all their records, there's sort of a concise, fresh feel to this one that is what makes it different. It's the same kind of style of music they do, the same topics, the same, instrumentation, all of that. And that's okay. But yet it's so different from the last album in that way. You get in, it runs right through. Everything is deliberate. Everything makes sense. Every theme is in its proper place. There's no part in it that you're like, oh, no, I can't. I got to skip this thing.
Yeah.
It's 4 minutes of just slow. Not like there's none of that. It just starts off with a bang. It keeps you right here the whole time, and then you get the big payoff at the end. And it's one CD. I love all of that about it. To me, that's what makes it work. Whereas I felt like it's nice to see them go back a little bit to what the grand experiment was, like in that way, one CD. Here's a collection of
Yeah,
stuff
it's their
that
only
you
other
can just
single album,
absorb.
right?
Yeah, and it's always just
Yeah.
so much music, and sometimes it's just a lot. It's just a lot to absorb.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I don't think that its length means there's any actually less musical ideas. So there's lots of, a minute at the end of the song where there's something completely different, or 2 minutes in the middle of, we talked about, if you've only seen the video of Hurt People, that's about probably less than half of the song. There's a whole instrumental middle part in it that's just full of
Yeah, it's
ideas. And I think for me the other thing about it is, and maybe this is just me, but it's because it's shorter, it's easier to pick for me to pick out the themes and the repetitions and the all of those little twists, and it's like, I think I maybe said this about the Big Train album as well, and there's a lot that's similar, at least from my experience of listening to them. The themes that you start, little payoffs. We talked about, the Fully Alive Part 2, being the real payoff. The ending where it does the comes back to the shame about my shame part. The I've got love inside my love. That there's so much of it that once you've heard 2 or 3 listens, you just feel like it's a whole thing, and I think you get to that much more quickly than you would do if it was 2 CDs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I hate to compare them because they're both really great albums in their own ways. I think the Big Train one is a bit more of a one piece kind of, maybe more like the Whirlwind was, because where there's less songs to just pull out as alone singles. There's a few in there, but it's a bit more of a, once you start listening, it's hard to it's hard to find an off ramp to like, okay, I'm done for today. I've heard, you really want to get through it. It's that kind of record. This one has a bit more bits where you could just pull out a song and listen. So in that way, I think they're a little
Yeah,
bit different.
about that, I've been discussing this with a few friends recently about how we engage media, be that music or movies or games or whatever, and that our attention span has been decreasing steadily as a race because of screens and phones, and like every video now is just 10 seconds long. People can hardly endure a 15-minute discussion, you know? And that affects how you go with albums as well. And then I go back to my comment about the first time I listened to the album, I thought there were like, oh man, so many slow parts here and there. And then I actually took a time to just listen to the album. And then you get like, oh my God, this is great. Because you go on that journey, on that roller coaster with them. And it's a super rewarding listen.
Yeah.
And that brings me to some of my highlights. I don't know about you guys, but my favorite song
Sure.
is Hurt People. I think that second half of instrumental is just like the crazy madness. My favorite moments, like Neo, Mike, and NMB moments, are when they go with that crazy instrumental stuff for like 5 minutes, and I love that. And I've tried to play that particular section on the drums. I kind of gave up. I'm moving on to guitar to see if maybe I can make that work. But it's just like it's super fun to listen to, and they still come up with new ideas and the new themes, everything linking together is just perfect. I don't know, man. What are your highlights, guys?
You can go, Geoff.
Oh, well, I mean, I think I said this to someone the other day. There are 2 parts that when I listened to it for the first time, I cried. Carry You Again just really hit me, and I suppose probably for anyone who's been through kind of changes or difficult times, it just really spoke to me. I guess most people have been through some of that at some point. And I think Love All Along, the ending track is is spectacular. I just I finished the album feeling exhausted. Just from the emotion of listening to it and getting into it. And I think that we haven't really talked about it. And I know that probably some people, music, lyrics. I mean, I just think the whole theme of belonging, being part of something, then not being part of something, and then being brought back it's very, very relatable to so many situations. Neil frames it in the way that you might expect Neil to frame it, in terms of his experience, which absolutely he should do. But I think it's totally relatable. I also I'm a big fan of Reaching, just as a joyous song.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
very happy.
compared it to anything, it I guess because it's got the vocal a cappella opening, it might align to The Call or The Great Adventure. But I love Neil's vocal in the first verse, and then the contrast of Eric singing the next bit. Um, but there's lots of little bits that, even without having a favorite track, there's lots of little themes and parts that are just really stick in your head. And that's funny because that's another thing that the Big Big Train album has. It has um, one or two themes that kind of keep cropping up, and it's sort of you're playing that spot the theme and the variation. Um,
Yeah.
I was actually I've got a little audio clip here because I was asking Bill about something and he sent me an audio reply. He can't make it. He's working tonight in the pizza shop. But he said this about this little theme, which you'll hear in the album.
The main riff that goes bam 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 bam. That part, and it reoccurs in a number of other songs. Yeah, that was based on something that I wrote in high school on guitar, actually. So every now and then I pull something out really old like that. This is actually how I wrote it. So we get
The sauce.
That's super cool.
A Prog
Just a
Report
se-
exclusive, by the way.
That's right. And by the way, well, of course, Bill was just on our Wheel of Prog ranking Toto albums that we had just put out recently. And so he's kind enough to send you that, which is really cool. It's amazing how you can have an idea from that long ago.
Yeah.
It's still usable and it's awesome.
Are you calling him
Yeah.
Ode?
Not at all. It's from last year. I really, really loved Fully Alive the first time I heard it. I know that it's a bit more of a slower groove in the beginning of the song, but I love the build of it. I love the build, and then I love the ending where Bill comes in with the keyboard part and it starts to go. That part is
And he sings so high, dude.
it's so do
It's
it all
crazy.
again. I love that style of song that they do.
One of the
But-
interviews I heard Neil talking about that song, and I think he said that that in the story or the narrative, that is when the person is young and they're kind of full of life and enjoying life, and they're kind of going through. And actually, when you kind of hear that, it's the living, it's someone kind of enjoying life, and you sort of, when you hear it in that context, you go, okay, yeah, I get that. And then
The naive
said it already.
excitement.
the
Optimism.
reprise when it comes back in at the end, it's just
Well, I was
amped
going to
up
say
and killer.
because I definitely love Her to Hurt People because of that instrumental break, and it's so heavy and just wild and awesome. But it's hard to go against the last 17 minutes, those last two songs, Fully Alive
Yeah.
Part 2 and the Love All Along at the end.
Yeah.
That last 18 minutes is, I mean, it's just some of the most outstanding music you
For
can
me,
hear.
from
It's
Reaching,
crazy.
Carry You Again, Shattered Barricade, if you did play someone, 25 minutes and go, this is what this band is about. It's got everything. It's got every singer. It's got acoustic. It's got electric. It's got dark. It's got heavy. It's got that killer. That really fast. Is it in Fully Alive Part 2? That riff that Bill was doing, the bam bam bam. The really fast one.
Yeah.
where it's like double time type thing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't know the musical term. That bit's just like so. It's like boom, like nearly taking off in a plane. It's like
well, and then spoiler alert. I mean, when we heard it with Vic was saying, I was hearing it with Vic, and he hadn't heard it, and he said that when he got to the end, he was so upset that it was going to fade out. You know, until it doesn't, which is that's the sauce that last bit with where Neil comes in at the end,
but
because
in general,
that makes the whole song.
That's just so much sauce. There's some Neil Morse tropes that I really love. When you go to Contemplation and he plays that solo piano section, and you know they're going to reprise it with a full band, and it's going to have all the little changes and everything. And me, as a fan of Seeds of Gold and Testimony and Snow or whatever, you just go
it's
like,
all stuff from
you know, you just love it, right? A little girl. But yeah, man.
Good stuff.
And like Eric, I should say, Eric's guitar playing, as ever, outstanding. Solos, killer, and a brilliant. Neil plays the solo on "Shame About My Shame."
I was gonna make a song that I was gonna make a joke that my favorite Eric solo is "Shame About My Shame."
Sorry, Phil. But it's again, that kind of Neil's kind of gnarly guitar thing. You know, the emotion of that's great. But Eric soloing throughout this is just brilliant, and lots of Eric vocals as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, for sure. So they're also for people that have been paying attention, I guess they're going to be playing the album at Morse Fest. There's 2 Morse Fests, maybe more coming. We don't really know, but they're sort of teasing at that. It'll be cool to see the band playing together live. I'm hoping maybe there's a few tour dates. It doesn't seem
hopefully
maybe possible. We don't know yet.
This year is going to be a Daniel List Morse Fest. Sadly,
this is.
I'm sorry to announce that it's another Prog Report exclusive.
Terrible news.
Refund requests are pouring in from all over the world.
Yeah, please message Rhythm Records right away. Yeah.
But I think again, it's the perfect, you know. If you were doing a show, you know, it's a perfect half of a show, to do all of that, and then to have the band back and doing kind of some other stuff as well. Brilliant! It's gonna be great to hear it live.
But you know, I've been really happy to see a lot of other YouTube channels, people that we are friends with that cover, you know, all the same albums, magazines that write reviews. Everybody's been really enjoying it and really thrilled with the album. And so it's nice to see. I'm glad we all are sort of all in agreement on how good this one is. Any last thoughts, guys? I think we've just about covered it. I think we need to let people go and listen to the album if they haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Go buy the album, listen to it. Belong.
Yeah.
Belong.
That's good.
It's all about belong. What does it stand for? What does L.I.? What does it stand for you, Daniel?
Ah, man, Levy in Fun Times. You know, that's me.
It stands for me as well.
I think it's a reflection of NMB when they walk on stage at Morse Fest. And they look at the front row and they say, "Look, it's Fagala there."
That's brilliant. That's
well,
awesome.
yeah. Or what anyone can say if they watch any Morse Fest Blu-ray, right? Look, it's Fagala there. Yeah.
Love in flared trousers, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't put much thought into it, to be honest. Otherwise, I would have some jokes ready, like Geoff.
I know. I didn't. No, I make them up.
Just
wow.
Just have ChatGPT tell you what it thinks it is. Anyway, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Leave your comments below. Do you like the album? Have you bought it? Have you listened to it? What do you think? Favorite songs? All of that. And thanks for joining us on this. And there's always a lot more stuff to come. So we'll see you all again real soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the NMB Reaction. Please make sure to comment, "I love Eric Gillette." Have a good one.
I love L-E-V-Y. Tell us what L-E-V-Y stands for.
Hey, thanks for checking out the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on all our socials and progreport.com, and we'll see you all again real soon. Thanks.